You know how you've been making some money following our betting guide and using our fantasy lineups, following our picks? Well, now you can make money and have fun playing Monkey Knife Fight and doing their daily fantasy prop games. So if you're not familiar with Monkey Knife Fight, and what they do is they have daily fantasy prop games. So you get to do daily fantasy, but instead of having to create a lineup and compete against thousands of other people, you get to take their line, take the over or the under, and in doing so, you can triple your money. So it's a ton of fun. It's super easy. Let me walk you through what they do, how they do it, and how to do it on their website. If you don't have an account, go to playmkf/WeWantPicks. And then when you make your first deposit, use promo code WWP. That promo code will instantly match 100% of your first deposit up to $100. So basically, if you deposit $100, 5 seconds later, you will have $200 to do whatever you want with. So let's get into the website. I'm going to show you what it looks like, how it works, and I'm going to walk you through some of these daily fantasy prop games, why they're fun, why they're exciting, and give you some tips. I'm all logged in here, ready to go. I am filming this on the Tuesday before UFC 261. So all of these fights just dropped. We have 13 fights and 13 different lines to play on. So up top, you have the individual sports that you would want to compete in, that you would want to play in. So I have the fist selected. The fist is UFC. Obviously, this is a basketball. And then we have golf, baseball, etc. So all of the major sports, they will have daily fantasy prop. And when you hit the other sports, there may be some really interesting ones. I'm going to focus on the fights. I'm going to focus on the UFC prop, but the promo code, the website, everything works exactly the same way. With the other sports, you're just going to see different props. So when we talk about UFC, they have a few different props set up. So what we're going to do here is you see that we have each individual fight. So there are 13 fights on Saturday. We have each individual fight broken out here, and you see the start times up top. Where that's beneficial is you can continue to play throughout the night. So the fight card starts at 6. You're sitting down, you're watching fights at 9. You could still hop in and grab some prop games at 9 while you're playing. So let's go down to the main event. So this is the main event for UFC 261. As soon as I come in here, up top, we have the time that it's going to start. And that's an estimate because it might start a little early, a little later. But here's the time that that fight's going to start. And then we have two different more or less options here. The first option is what's selected. And if we scroll down, we will see that it is significant strikes. So what that means, if we're looking at this, what this means is Kamaru Usman is set at 88.5 significant strikes. So now the decision that I need to make is, do I think Kamaru Usman will throw more or less than 88.5 significant strikes? And I can make that decision a million different ways. I can do some research. I could know in my head, well, he's a busy fighter and there's a lot of high volume output there. So I'm going to take the over. I'm going to hit more there. And then my second option here, the second task I need to do is pick the exact same line for George Masvidal. So Masvidal has a significant strike line of 63.5. So again, I need to decide in his fight against Kamaru Usman, will Jorge Masvidal throw more or less than 63.5 significant strikes? And this is tricky because this is a rematch. I know how the first fight went, and I know sort of their fighting styles and what's going to happen. So I'm going to go ahead and let's take the more. So I've gone the over on both. Now I'm going to choose how much money. So right now my options start at $2 and they go up to $100. Just like any other line-based system, this line might move. So this is day one. These were released today, a few hours ago, actually. And a few hours ago when they released these, this is the line. We have 88.5 for Kamaru Usman, 63.5 for George Masvidal. If I like this line and I love it and I feel confident in it, and maybe I feel that the line setter got it wrong, right? Maybe I feel the person who set this line underestimated George Masvidal. I'm going to want to hit this right now before it moves, because just like anything else in this world, as the money comes in and as people put money on these prop games, that line might move. So in the first few days, you can get 2.5 on your money, but the buy-in is capped at $100. But after a few days, once that line settles, it goes up to $250 and you triple your money. So that's another decision that you need to make. If you see that line and you love that line, hit it now and max it out if you want. If the line is just okay and you're pretty confident that whatever the line is set at, you know how this fight is going to go, then wait, because then you can triple your money instead of 2.5 times again. So once we decide how much we want to buy in at, we'll select that amount. Let's say $10. And this is saying, okay, I'm saying that Kamaru Usman will throw more than 88.5 significant strikes, and George Masvidal will also throw more than 63.5 significant strikes. I have to pick both. I'm buying in at $10, and that $10 buy-in will get me $25. I'm going to submit it. I will confirm. And now I have placed that prop game. I'm all set. This is locked in. And now I can close this, or I can do a new one. So let's do a new one, and I'll show you the other way you can do the props. So let's grab the co-main event. We have Rose Namajunas versus Weili Zhang. So we did the very first more or less option, and the very first was significant strikes. The second option is with fantasy points. So the fantasy points one is interesting. What this is saying is they have their own fantasy scoring system. And this is saying in the monkey knife fight fantasy scoring system, Weili will score 350.5 points. And I need to decide, will she score more or less than 350.5 fantasy points in her fight against Rose? And if I want to see what those points are and how the fantasy is scored, I click the little I, and here's that breakdown. So for fantasy scoring, this is saying that every single strike is 1 point. A significant strike is 2 points. So now if I throw a significant strike, that's actually 3 points because I got 1 for a strike, 2 more because it was significant. A takedown is 10 points. A knockdown is 15 points. A submission attempt is 20 points. And a win is 25 points. So that's a very interesting way to go about this. So if I were going to do the fantasy route, so we just walked through the significant strike route, there's a line. Are they going to throw more punches than that or fewer punches than that? With the fantasy route, I need to decide, is Weili going to score more or less than 350? And I can do this by breaking down how I think the fight's going to go. All right, I think she's going to throw a lot of punches. Let's say she throws 150 punches. Well, that's 150 points. Let's say 50 of them are significant. So that's 100 more points. So now we're at 250 points. I don't think there's going to be any takedowns in this. Maybe there's a knockdown. So now we're at 265 points. I think she will win. So we're at 290 points. That's less than the 350. So I'll choose less. Rose, exact same logic. And I think Rose is probably going to lose. I think she'll fight a very similar fight. She probably won't get a knockdown. So I'll take the less there as well. And we're only going to put 5 on this one. So I'm 2.5 timesing my money. If I waited a few days to see how this line works itself out, I can triple my money. But let's go ahead and lock this in. I'm going to submit that daily prop game. And now that's all set. So it's very straightforward. It's very logical. It is a ton of fun. This isn't like other fantasy environments where I have to draft a full team of 6 people and my 6 go against your 6. That's not what's happening here. I get to pick what I want based on their lines, and I'm competing against them. If they get the lines wrong, I get rich. If they get the lines right, but I'm good enough to know how this fight's actually going to go, I'll get rich again. So it's a ton of fun. It's super easy. head over to the website. If you are new, go to playmkf/WeWantPicks. And if you've never made a deposit before, deposit using promo code WWP, and you will get 100% match up to $100 instantly. If you deposit 100, you will have 200 to play with 5 seconds later. If you have any questions, comment down below. And from now on in our videos, you are going to see the significant strike line, and we're going to give you our picks and our plays if we think it'll be more or less at those lines. Let us know what you think. Comment down below. If you have any questions, we're here to answer them. Thank you for the watch, and we look forward to playing with you.